You know, man, I know it's kind of a cliche that everybody says, to say, oh, it's not a pay-per-view watch, it's going to be a really good fight because it's going to be a really good card because it's not a pay-per-view, Like, some of the best cards in the world are cards that are not pay-per-views. It's fight nights. I gotta say, man, in this case, it pretty much freaking delivered because every single fight today was incredible. I mean, there were 12 fights. Two of the fights were canceled. There were 14 fights initially. Two of the fights were canceled, so we got 12 fights. Out of those 12 fights, only 3 of them were by decision, and those decisions were actually really, really good fights too. And then everything else was either a TKO, KO, or submission. I mean, starting things off, we got Muhammad Mukayev, who got a submission in round number 1 in like 58 seconds. And then Paul Craig got a beautiful triangle like he always does against Nikita Krylov. Then we had the KO and then a submission. Marquand Amir Khani, beautiful submission against Mike Grundy as Mike shot in for a takedown and got freaking submitted by a Darce choke. And then Ilya Topuria, man, that fight was absolute insanity. He was facing Jai Herbert. Jai was 6'1", taller than Ilya. Ilya also took the fight on short notice. And in round number 1, Ilya got kicked in the head. It was a pretty bad head kick. It looked like this is it. This is where this fight's going to be over. But he was able to survive the head kick, took down Jai, grounded him in round number 1. And in round number 2, he just blitzed him, put him against the cage. Threw a beautiful combination, which included a beautiful left hook to the body. Overhand right, knocks him out cold. Now, the beautiful thing about this KO, what I respect the most about this KO, is that even considering the fact that the crowd was booing him and all the emotions going into it, after he knocked out Jai, he did not go in to finish the fight. Like, he didn't hit him anymore. He dropped him, sat him down, knocked him out cold, looked at him, noticed he was done, fight was over, and he just walked off. Which, to me, when a fighter has the self-control to do that, it is always very impressive because it's not an easy thing to do. Hide on the moment, lots of emotions. A lot of fighters will go in there and try to finish the fight. And then you've got Molly versus Luana Carolina. That was actually a really good fight. And the KO, the knockout in this fight right here, extremely unexpected and probably going to be in the candidate for the best knockouts of the year. I am so goddamn dead serious. Usually I will tell you guys what happened, but I want you guys to go watch this one yourself if you haven't seen it. It was a sick knockout. Check it out. And then after that, it was Gunnar Nelson versus Takashi Sato. And this fight right here is very interesting because a majority of the fight was Gunnar Nelson on the back with a body triangle locked in. Now, in mixed martial arts, when you see a fighter with his back taken and a body triangle locked in, especially if the fighter has really good rear naked choke defense, the position can get stalled out a little bit because all you can really do is try to clear the arm, try to sneak in an arm underneath their neck, or at least try to get a gable grip from the back to try to at least get a neck crank. But Takashi Sato was doing a very good job of defending all that. And so what Gunnar Nelson had to do from the back with the body triangle was use that as a ground and pound situation, a ground and pound position. Very powerful, huge control position, but he wasn't able to get the finish because his opponent had very, very good defense. Now, this is where, if you're just looking at it from an MMA landscape, you can kind of look at that position and think, oh man, it's weak as fuck. But there's a very good reason why the back is the apex position in jiu-jitsu. That is the back, that is the position that is most coveted, the position that we all want. The back with a body triangle locked in. Because imagine this. Imagine there were no rules that you cannot hit the back of the opponent's head. Imagine a street fight. You get somebody down, you take their back. Now you have all the options, which includes chokes, and you can strike them anywhere you want from the back. You can attack the back of their head, the top of their head, with elbows, with punches. You don't have to be nice with it. It is an absolutely awful position to be in. And so Gunnar definitely won that fight. 30-26 across the board. It was a very, very, very dominant win. And I personally really enjoyed it. Thought it was a really good performance. Next up was Paddy Pimblett versus Rodrigo Vargas. Now, this fight right here, the fight started off in a very interesting way. Rodrigo blitzed him, hit him with a really good shot, didn't really drop him, but they both ended up on the ground. Rodrigo, of course, sat on top, did some very good damage, and then Paddy figured out a way to reverse him. And of course, the moment he got reversed, then you see Paddy's jiu-jitsu. Rodrigo gives up his back, Paddy takes the back and chokes him out. Clean like that. Easy work. Of course, Paddy pretty much he's the guy that everybody came to see tonight. Like, he might as well have been the main event because everybody was screaming this guy's name. The amount of hype around this man right now, I was saying that I need to try to figure out a way to like this guy because he's the kind of person that if he ends up being as good as advertised, oh my God, it would be painful to not like him because he's going to annoy the shit out of you, honestly. But really good win for Paddy. That one was pretty good. Moving on is Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. That was a banger of a fight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you guys. Because going into the fight, of course, Dan Hooker moving down to the featherweight division, typically fights at lightweight. Yesterday, he didn't look too good, honestly. A lot of people were posting images of him absolutely fucking shredded. Very, very small body fat percentage. And if you see that, like if you kind of know what you're looking at, you know that's not the most healthy thing in the world to be walking around with extremely low body fat percentage. And so coming into this fight, I was thinking maybe it would affect them, you know, because a lot of times when fighters cut a lot of weight, it does affect their performance in the sense that they can't really take a shot. A lot of times it affects their ability to push, to really push. It also affects their durability. I mean, we saw what happened with TJ Dillashaw when he moved down to the flyweight division and faced Henry Cejudo. Now, I'm not saying that is exactly what happened here against Arnold Allen, but I do think that Dan Hooker would have been more durable because we've seen Dan Hooker in there with more powerful fighters. We've seen him in there with the likes of Dustin Poirier. We've seen him take a ridiculous beating against Edson Barboza and survive for a very long time. So we've seen the man take some huge shots against bigger, powerful men. And to watch him get finished like he did against Arnold Allen, it kind of, like, it would be hard for you to not blame the weight cut, even a little bit, at least a little bit. But besides that, it was a beautiful performance from Arnold. Blitzing hand speed, so freaking fast. There was clearly a huge speed discrepancy between them. The moment Arnold let his hands fly, it was like, oh my God, these two guys, their speed is not comparable at all. Dan looked like he was moving in slow motion. They had a long, brutal exchange earlier in the round, and then later on, Arnold Allen got him with a beautiful left, followed up with a head kick, and then finished him against the cage with blitzing elbows. The referee saw enough. Really good fight. If you have not seen that fight, definitely go check it out. It was amazing for as long as it lasted. And then, of course, the main event, Alexander Volkov versus Tom Aspinall. This dude, Tom, especially in the heavyweight division where the skill, the technique is not exactly, you wouldn't say it's the shining skill and technique division of the UFC. It really isn't. To have a man like Tom, who is very technical, who has a lot of skills, to have someone like that in the weight class like the heavyweight division, it's a very dangerous thing. It really is. Because on one hand, you got a man that's big. He's a 6'5" human being. That's a big guy who also happens to have very good skills. He's very technical. His submissions are very good. Earlier in his career, he had like 2 heel hook submissions. He's had a rear naked choke submission, and today he was able to submit Alexander Volkov with a straight arm lock, or straight elbow lock as they call it, from I believe he got it from half guard. He grounded Alexander Volkov, beat him down a little bit in half guard, and then try to get a Kimura. But a lot of times when you try to get a Kimura, especially if the guy is strong, he's able to straighten the arm. And when they straighten the arm, that's when you can go for the straight arm lock, which attacks the elbow. It bends the elbow in the complete opposite direction that the elbow is supposed to be bent. And against a big man doing that to you, man, you either tap or, well, your shit gets snapped in half. So, really good performance. Really amazing performance. Right now, he's currently 12-2, which is very good in that weight class. And it's only a matter of time before he gets to that championship fight that he's been looking for. So, overall, man, a really, really incredible fight card. Like, what I would say about the fight card is, like, I can't believe I got to watch that for free. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fight card that I would say is worth $74. Like, I would pay $74 for a fight card like that. Every single fight delivered. Every single fighter came to show up. They gave their all. Lots of finishes. Beautiful jiu-jitsu. Beautiful, brutal striking in the fight. Just all over the place, man. All over the place. So, let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the fight card. I'm really hoping that we can get more like that. Next one, of course, is UFC Fight Night. That's Curtis Blades versus Chris Daukaus. You know, typically you look at fight cards like this, man, you don't see a lot of big names, but this could also deliver. It really could. I mean, Kai Kara France is fighting. Matt Brown is fighting. Alexei Oleinik is fighting. Ilir Latifi is also fighting. We got some good fights here for sure. We got some Mark Jacasey is fighting. We got some good fights here that I do believe will also deliver. So we'll just have to wait and see. And then, of course, after that is UFC 273 with Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. Really looking forward to that one. But that's where we're going to leave it. The fight you guys are watching right here, I actually just recorded these fights after the card happened. Just wanted to get a few fights in with Arnold Allen because I did not get to. And this dude that was fighting, he wasn't bad at all. We had the first fight. He had the Korean Zombie, if I remember correctly. And then he decided to run it with Jose Aldo. And as you guys will see, we're still able to get him. So let me commentate this fight just a little bit as I rock him right there with a roundhouse to the body. You'll notice his body health right here because I was looking for sneaky opportunities to work his body. I'm going to go again. Boom. It's something I do all the time. If you catch the body kick and let the foot go, a lot of times players don't expect you to go to the body again. And so that's what I did. Let's see right here. I'm looking for opportunities to work his body. I'm faking it. Getting with that beautiful left hook to the body. Fake again. Sit him down. We're going to let him up. I believe right here. There you go. I take his back. Knee. Switch right back to southpaw. I've been doing a lot of work in trying to get comfortable fighting from southpaw. As you guys know, I am more comfortable fighting from the conventional stance, but I've found that, like, just the more I use fighters in southpaw, the better I get. Look at that, I'm just faking him out right here. And right now we have him in a purely defensive cycle. You know, most of the shots he's throwing right now are just to kind of keep me away. He's really, like, his confidence level that he will be able to win the fight, as you can tell just from his body language, it's not very good. Beautiful pivot though. He was hitting that pivot quite a few times in this fight. Right there, hit him with that teep. And I keep looking for that left hook to the body. Hit him again. He catches that. I'm going to go again, this time to the head. Alright, and his stamina is extremely low. Round number 3, we looked to close the show. Not waste any additional time. Like I said, man, I'm really loving the fact that we're running into a lot of good players in quick match. At least players that are not completely inexperienced, but that also comes with time. the longer the game goes, the better everyone just gets. You know, like one of you were asking me in the comment section of one of my videos, is it that all the good players are no longer playing? Like, how is it that I'm now in Division 20? I'm like, well, keep in mind, you're also getting better. You're also getting better. Give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit. The fact that you're now in Division 20 doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden running into nothing but bums. You know, you've improved as well. So, I mean, just think about how you used to play back in the day. Imagine the old version of you fighting against this version of yourself right now. I mean, you would crush that version of yourself. So, give yourself some credit. You've improved. Everybody has improved. It's just what happens the longer the game's life cycle is. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a very, very good fight card. I'm still super hyped from it, as you guys can tell. Talking a million miles a minute. But that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later with a brand new one. As always, stay safe. Peace out. Have a good night, boys.